June 26, 2020. The pandemic is raging. Retail is dying. Malls are empty. And Gap announces a partnership with Kanye West. The stock price jumps 40% in a single day. 40%. Wall Street goes crazy. Analysts upgrading their ratings. Investors piling in. The promise, a 10-year partnership. The Yeezy Gap line, a revolution in retail. Gap's situation, desperate. Stores closing. Sales declining for years. Brand completely irrelevant. Ask someone under 25 what Gap is. They don't know or don't care. Kanye's vision, affordable luxury. Democratizing fashion. Bringing Yeezy aesthetic to the masses. His Yeezy brand with Adidas, worth $35 billion. Selling out instantly. Reselling for double retail. The projections, $1 billion in annual sales from Yeezy Gap. $1 billion. Wall Street believed it. Added billions to Gap's market valuation based on the announcement alone. The fashion world watched. Could the most influential designer of the 2010s save a dying mall brand? Fast forward to September 2022. 2 years later, partnership terminated. After 2 years, not 10. The failure, minimal sales. Only a handful of items ever released. Mutual recriminations. Gap's stock price, lower than before the Kanye announcement. What happened? How did the most hyped retail partnership in years completely implode? This isn't just about Kanye being difficult, though that's definitely part of it. It's about fundamental incompatibility between creative vision and corporate retail. Artist versus machine. Genius versus bureaucracy. Inspiration versus timelines. The partnership was doomed from the start. Here's why. Let's go back. Because Gap wasn't always dying. The 1990s and early 2000s, Gap was the biggest clothing retailer in America. The khakis, the hoodies, fall into the Gap cultural phenomenon. Celebrities wore Gap. It was cool. It was default American casual wear. At their peak, over 3,000 stores. Revenue in the billions. Market leader. Then, slow, painful decline. Early 2000s, fast fashion arrives. H&M, Zara, Forever 21. Cheaper than Gap. Trendier than Gap. Faster to market than Gap. 2010 seconds, e-commerce explodes. Amazon, a sauce. Online shopping dominates. Gap's mall-based model increasingly outdated. But the deeper problem, loss of identity. Who is Gap for? What does Gap mean? No clear answer. Became default clothes. Boring. Safe. Forgettable. Not fashionable enough to be desirable. Not cheap enough to be value. Just there. The death spiral. Declining sales, store closures, less relevance, fewer customers, more declining sales. By 2020, pandemic accelerating the collapse. Sales down 50% plus during lockdowns. Stores closed permanently. Mall traffic dead. The humiliation. Old Navy, their discount brand, was doing better than Gap. Their cheap brand outperforming their flagship. That tells you everything. They needed something radical. Something that would create buzz. Generate relevance. Enter Kanye West. The Gap calculation. Point 1, he's one of the most influential figures in fashion. His Yeezy brand with Adidas worth billions. Point 2, he has a devoted fan base that will buy anything. His Adidas Yeezy line selling out instantly. Every single release. Reselling for double, triple retail prices. If Gap could capture even a fraction of that energy. The pitch, affordable Yeezy. Bringing his design vision to the masses. Yeezy sneakers, $200,300 retail. $500,100 resale. Yeezy Gap, $4,100 range. Accessible. The dream, lines around the block for Gap clothes. Like Yeezy drops. Make Gap cool again. Relevant. Must have. Cultural cachet. Instagram posts. TikTok hype. The desperation. They gave him unprecedented creative control. This should have been the first red flag because corporations and uncompromising creatives don't mix well. Especially this creative. Kanye's vision. Utopian, ambitious, uncompromising. He didn't want a celebrity clothing line. He wanted to change fashion itself. His references, Bauhaus, minimalism, utilitarian design, architecture. Wanted to design stores, not just clothes, the entire experience. Wanted to control everything, product, pricing, presentation, distribution. The Gap's reality, corporate bureaucracy, supply chains, existing infrastructure. These are fundamentally incompatible. June 2020, partnership announced. The hype is maximum. Months pass. No product. September 2021. First product drops. 15 months after announcement. One product. A blue puffer jacket. The round jacket, $200. It sold out quickly. Kanye fans bought it. But one product doesn't save a company with thousands of stores. Why so slow? Creative differences. Production issues. Kanye changing his mind. Rejecting samples. Starting over. The rollout, chaotic. Confusing. Limited. Products dropped randomly. No consistent schedule. Limited quantities. Like Yeezy drops. Creating scarcity. But Gap needs volume. They have 3,000 plus stores to fill. Scarcity works for limited releases, not for saving a retail chain. The store concept, Kanye wanted radical redesign. Clothes in industrial construction bags. On the floor, no racks, no traditional displays. Minimalist, industrial, dystopian aesthetic. Gap tried this concept in some stores. Customer reactions, why are clothes in garbage bags? Didn't understand the vision, just saw mess. Normal Gap customers completely alienated. The pricing conflict, Kanye wanted higher prices. 100 to 00 range. Maintaining Yeezy prestige. Gap wanted Gap prices. 40-80. Accessible to their customer base. The compromise satisfied neither. Too expensive for regular Gap customers. Since when does Gap cost $140? Too cheap to maintain Yeezy prestige. This isn't real Yeezy. The product range, very limited. Hoodies, puffers, basic items in limited colors. Black, brown, blue. Gap needed full seasonal collections. Tops, bottoms, dresses, accessories. Multiple colors, patterns, styles. Kanye delivered minimal monochromatic basics. The Balenciaga complication. Kanye partnered with Balenciaga for Yeezy. Gap engineered by Balenciaga, even more limited, even more expensive. 240 for 40 price range. Further diluted the Gap brand identity. Now it's Gap, but also Yeezy, but also Balenciaga. Regular Gap customers completely lost. What is this brand anymore? The fundamental mismatch. Artist versus corporation. Kanye operates on inspiration, changes his mind, seeks perfection. No timelines. Gap operates on timelines, margins, scale, predictability, process. You can't run a global retail chain on artistic inspiration. Can't wait for the artist to feel inspired to design the spring collection. Both sides increasingly frustrated. Gap, where's the product? We need inventory. Kanye, you don't understand my vision. Stop interfering. A recipe for disaster. But let's be honest, Kanye made it significantly worse. Let's be clear, Kanye's genius is undeniable. Changed hip-hop, influenced fashion globally, built billion-dollar brands. But working with him, famously difficult. The pattern across his entire career, brilliant vision, chaotic execution, burned bridges. The Nike partnership created Air Yeezy. Huge success. Left because he wanted more control. More royalties. Nike wouldn't give it. Burned that bridge publicly. Very publicly. The Adidas partnership, massively successful. $1.5 billion plus annually. Ended in disaster. October 2022. Anti-Semitic comments. Adidas terminated immediately. The Gap partnership fell right between these two. Same pattern playing out. The specific problems. Problem number one, constantly changed his mind on designs. Approved samples, then rejected them, started over. Problem number two, missed deadlines. Repeatedly, timelines meant nothing to him. Inspiration doesn't work on schedule. Problem number three, demanded total control but didn't deliver product volume. Wanted the authority without the responsibility. Problem number four, public complaints about Gap. Posted on Instagram, Gap is copying my designs. Gap is excluding me from meetings. Gap doesn't respect my vision. Made it a public battle instead of working internally. The Instagram wars, posted private texts with Gap executives. Violated confidentiality. Posted photos of his store concepts they rejected. Look what they won't let me do. Aired every grievance publicly. Gap trying to manage PR disaster while also trying to get him to deliver product. The impossible demands, wanted dedicated Yeezy Gap stores just for his line. Gap has 3,000 existing stores with existing contracts. Can't rebuild for one line. Wanted full control, zero interference, complete autonomy. but Gap is responsible for profitability. Can't give complete control to someone who doesn't care about margins. The attention span, Kanye's focus shifted constantly. 1 month, excited about Gap. The future, next month, focused on something else entirely. Running for president 2.0, Donda album, Sunday service, other business ventures. Gap needed consistent focus. Didn't get it. The corporate clash, Gap executives trying to manage an unmanageable creative. Scheduled meetings he wouldn't attend. Approved designs in one meeting. Rejected them weeks later. Changed direction mid-production. Actually, I want something different. Factories producing inventory. Then stopping. Then starting over with new designs. Wasted money. Wasted time. Wasted opportunity. The sales reality, despite the hype, sales were disappointing. First products sold well. Kanye fans bought them. But repeat purchases? Minimal. Broader Gap customers not buying Yeezy Gap. Too expensive. Too weird. Not their style. Not reaching the scale needed to matter to Gap's bottom line. Gap Inc. has $16 billion in annual revenue. Need billions to move the needle. Yeezy Gap, maybe 100 million total over 2 years. Not even close to the $1 billion annual projection. September 2022, the end. Mutual agreement to end partnership. 8 years early. Gap's statement cited substantial non-compliance with agreement terms. Kanye's response on Instagram, I'm being shut out. Both sides blamed each other. Finger pointing. Recriminations. The aftermath, Gap removed all Yeezy Gap product from stores immediately. Kanye took the designs, sold them independently through his own channels. Partnership that was supposed to last 10 years died in 2. But this failure isn't unique. It's part of a broader pattern. The Gap or Kanye failure isn't unique. Celebrity retail partnerships fail constantly. Here's why. Reason number 1, misaligned incentives. Celebrity wants creative expression, brand building, legacy. Company wants sales, profit, scale, predictability. These goals often conflict directly. Reason number 2, celebrities don't understand retail operations designing products. 10% of retail, production, supply chain, distribution, merchandising, pricing, inventory management. 90%. Celebrities want to design, don't want to manage operations. But operations are what make retail actually work. Reason number 3, celebrity cachet doesn't always translate to sales. Being famous doesn't mean people will buy your clothes. Kanye fans buy Yeezys, but are they Gap customers? The audiences often don't overlap. Reason number 4, corporate structure incompatible with creative freedom. Corporations, processes, approvals, committees, legal review, financial review. Creatives want immediate execution of vision, no interference. Fundamentally incompatible working styles. Examples of failed celebrity retail partnerships: Kanye x Gap. We know this story. Bianca x Topshop. Ivy Park moved to Adidas, then quietly ended. Rihanna x Puma. Initial success, then ended. Rihanna moved on. Pharrell x Adidas. Multiple attempts, never scaled significantly. Various celebrities x JCPenney. All failed. Every single one. The rare successes and why they worked. Rihanna x Fenty Beauty, she had full control. Backed by LVMH luxury conglomerate. Proper infrastructure. Luxury positioning. Not trying to fill mass market stores. Kylie x Kylie Cosmetics, direct-to-consumer model. Her own infrastructure. No corporate partner to fight with. Travis Scott x McDonald's. Limited time, simple execution, just a meal combo, low complexity. The pattern, successes involve either full control or very limited scope. The middle ground rarely works. Partial control satisfies no one. Why the Gap or Kanye partnership was especially doomed. Gap needed transformation, not just a product line. Kanye wanted transformation too, but his vision, not Gap's vision. Gap couldn't give him full control without destroying their existing business. Kanye couldn't work within Gap's constraints, philosophically opposed to constraints. The middle ground satisfied absolutely no one. Customers confused, shareholders disappointed, both partners frustrated. A masterclass in how not to do a celebrity partnership. But where are they now? Let's check in on the aftermath. Gap, still struggling, still closing stores, still searching for identity. The Kanye partnership didn't save them, made things worse in some ways, wasted 2 years on a failed partnership when they needed real transformation. Their current strategy, back to basics, focus on core products, new leadership, restructuring, cost cutting, but still no clear vision for what Gap should be in 2025. The existential question remains, does Gap need to exist? What void does it fill that other brands don't fill better? Still no clear answer. Kanye, even more complicated. October 2022, 1 month after Gap split, the anti-Semitic comments. Lost Adidas partnership immediately. Lost billions. Lost other partnerships. Balenciaga. Multiple brands cut TIs. Net worth reportedly dropped from $2 billion to $400 million. A complete unraveling. He's still designing, still creating, independently now.